Swede walked into a bar. The barman turned around and said, "Why the long face?" The Irishman turned to the barman and said, "I think that's the punchline to a different setup." Hello and welcome to Tangential Diatribe, a podcast where we talk about current affairs, fantasy literature, anything that piques our interest, and the only constant is that we constantly go off on tangents.
Tangents?
Yeah.
I've never done a tangent ever. How dare you, good sir?
I'm Ronan V, and with me, as always, is Leif Jor with amazing insight. Leif, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
Can you believe it's been 1/3 of this year already?
Why do you keep having to say things like that, man? It's depressing enough.
Why? No, I think it's kind of...
Why don't you tell me how many days it is till Christmas? Why don't you be that guy?
No, I think it's awesome, because that means we're going to have 6 months of awesome weather now. Right? You're going to go jumping in the ocean, you're going to have books reading in the park, whatever.
We live in southern Sweden. We're about to hit the third winter.
Yeah, it might snow tomorrow.
Yeah,
I don't believe it, though. I don't understand it.
6 months of glorious weather.
Oh, 6 months of sun at least.
You've been living in the same place I've been.
South of Sweden. About? There's no snow here. All is good.
What will happen is, what always happens, we'll get 3 weeks of glorious sunshine. Yeah. Everybody will get dead excited and go, "Oh, this is the summer." Then we'll get rain for 2 months. Yeah. Then we'll get about 3 weeks or 4 weeks of great sunshine, which will make us think that the whole summer was pretty darn good. And then it's autumn.
That sounds like a perfect summer.
That's not
Isn't that a perfect summer?
That's not exactly 6 months of glorious sunshine.
Yeah, but you need some water for the plants.
Leif. Right. You'll forgive me for being rude, but shut up, Leif.
About what?
This is the podcast where we get things back on track. We do a podcast about books. We don't fuck around. We don't go off on too many tangents, even though it's called Tangential Diatribe.
Okay.
And that's literally our whole shtick. Uh-huh. But this time, Leif.
Yeah?
Just this time. Maybe next time as well.
Did you see The Watch, the TV show?
Right. The Watch. What's The Watch?
The Terry Pratchett.
I know what The Watch is, mate. Of course I know what The Watch is.
You loved it?
The BBC America adaptation, not an adaptation, inspiration from Terry Pratchett's Guards.
We try to take the best stuff and jumble them into something weird.
Right, let's talk about The Watch then. I was going to ask you what you've been reading.
Reading? I don't read.
I know you listen.
There you go.
The Watch, BBC America, so good that BBC United Kingdom haven't picked it up, and it's only BBC America.
Yeah, that says a lot.
I read a review, and I'm pretty sure it was by your favorite YouTuber, Daniel Green.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Where he said, if you're a fan of Terry Pratchett, you won't like this. If you're not a fan of Terry Pratchett, you might like it.
Yeah.
I'll give you my impression. I only watched one episode.
Okay.
I am a fan of Terry Pratchett.
Yes, same here.
I don't like it. No. If I wasn't a fan of Terry Pratchett, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I kind of agree on both accounts.
It's shit.
Yeah. Now, I can see the acting is not horrible.
Yeah.
There's things happening.
The acting is horrible. Go.
Yeah, right. Maybe. But I hate the environment. I hate the characters. I hate everything.
Which aesthetic.
Which I don't with the books. So,
how do you want to discuss it? Shall we try and discuss it without knowing Terry Pratchett first, and then knowing Terry Pratchett after?
Okay.
Because all my comments are like Sam Vimes, one of the greatest literary creations, has been dumbed down and just fucked over. Right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Or just skip it and say don't watch it.
Yeah, I would.
I'm not gonna watch it again.
Every character that they've changed for the worse.
Yeah, shallower.
Yeah.
But that's common. It goes from books. Yeah.
I don't know. Did you ever watch Terry Goodkind's The Sword of Truth?
No.
They did a TV series of it.
Yeah, but it was like a teen thing, right?
Not really. I think you were thinking of Shannara.
Ah, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. They tried to do the Sword of Truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
They tried to do it a little bit more grown up. But the guy, I can't remember who it was, but the guy who they got to play Richard Rahl was not good.
Okay.
And
I think I saw like 1 or 2 episodes of both those shows, but then that went.
Should we try and watch one episode of that?
Okay.
Let's watch the first episode of that. That'll be our new segment, right?
Okay. Yeah.
We'll pick a fantasy series that's been adapted into the TV show, and we'll watch the first episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that many good ones though.
No, there's no good ones.
Game of Thrones.
Until the last 2 seasons, I'll give you that.
Yeah, but it did an awesome job in the beginning.
Yeah. Have we finished talking about the watch?
Yeah.
I think we've given it as much time as it deserves.
It doesn't. Yeah, that's kind of the point.
It's shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad because I would love.
Sorry, I really gotta stop just talking about you. Right? Yeah.
I would love to see that universe, those fun characters come to life on the screen.
Super hard to do. I think we talked about this.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually went back and had a look at all the adaptations, and I've never liked any of them. The Going Postal wasn't actually too bad.
Okay.
But they're not good. It's so fantastical.
Yeah.
Like, to the nth degree, it's so hard to do live action.
Yeah.
You'd have to do mega budget. Or like we were talking Boxroom.
Yeah.
We're basically saying what we said last podcast.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
We're treading all ground. Good. Yeah. Leif, have you read anything? What have you read?
I've read.
Tell me, mate. Tell me. Regale me with stories of books that you've read.
I read a lot of books.
What have you read, mate?
Well, I don't, now I'm quiet. I don't want to tell you.
Note the emphasis on read. You haven't read nothing, have you?
You read anything? Let me think.
Have you?
I think I read 2 chapters of this book.
What's the book?
Klara and the Sun.
Klara and the Sun.
So I read 2 chapters and listened to the rest of it.
Nice.
Does that count?
I don't know. Does it? No, unless the book's like 3 chapters long. Which I'm guessing it's not.
So it's Kazuo Ishiguro.
Yeah, brilliant pronunciation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And he wrote Never Let Me Go and won a Nobel Prize for that.
Yeah.
And this is more of the same, and it's very. Yeah. It's about an human companion android robot kind of thing.
Brilliant. Yeah.
She stands in a shop window with others in a sales, and it's about her inner dialogue. It's very slow paced.
Yeah.
Very Murakami.
Sure.
Yes. It says a lot without saying anything, basically, and it's just
says a lot without.
Yeah,
saying
but it's
anything.
Understated. Is that the right word? Then?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says a lot without saying anything.
Yeah, and then a sick girl comes in and says, "I want her, not the other ones, not the new shiny models. I want her," and then it's about what happens there, and it's really a nice, philosophical, well-written book, and I recommend it to everybody. But it is slow-paced.
Would you say that it's a fantasy book?
In the sense that Murakami is, yeah. Like, it's more sci-fi, if anything.
Oh, so it's a sci-fi book.
It's robots.
If you will. Right. See, my confusion is because this is a fantasy podcast. And I know we get into this every bloody week.
Nobel Prize, man. Come on.
What's that? Oh, fuck's that going to do with it? Did it get Nobel Prize for fantasy literature?
Yes.
Can you not just, for once, mate? People tune into this in their ones of thousands.
So they don't want to have a good book recommendation. This book is highly rated, man.
I feel like we lose listeners because we advertise as a fantasy literature podcast, and yet every goddamn week, Leif, you talk about a sci-fi book.
Okay.
I don't know. Is it me, mate? Is it me? Are you just goading me?
Here,
is that what it is?
Pick one that I should read then.
What am I? Are you goading me, mate? Have I upset you in some way?
Yeah, you made it a thing, definitely.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, you are literally goading me now. Wow. Where do you get your kicks, mate?
What? Okay.
Upsetting somebody.
For next podcast, I'll read The City.
Don't believe you. The City?
Yeah, he peeked up.
The City?
Yeah.
Who wrote The City?
Your favorite author.
No, he didn't.
Yeah?
You're talking about Stella Gemmell.
Yeah?
Not my favorite author.
Okay.
Up there, though. I'm looking forward to the next one if she ever gets around to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I read The City.
Yeah.
It's in here somewhere.
Here's the thing. This got nothing to do with anything, but we were meant to talk about it, a while ago. Because there's every chance that George R. R. Martin will die Well, everybody will die, but before he's finished the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do authors owe us anything? Is my question.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of... Sorry. Okay. Sorry, you've answered. We'll just stop talking there.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of vitriol towards him on Twitter and stuff. It's like every time he does something which isn't a Game of Thrones, because he has his Wildcard series and he does other things, anthologies, and The Dying Earth.
He takes on a lot.
He does. And now he's doing screenplays and things.
Yeah, computer games.
On Twitter, all he gets is fans going, "Mate, fucking stop it. You could die. You're a large guy. Just write freaking Winds of Winter. Just finish Game of Thrones. That's all we want." And a lot of authors, Neil Gaiman in particular, have come out and said, he doesn't owe you anything.
No.
Fuck off.
I know.
Leave the guy alone.
Yeah. So...
But does he owe us something?
No. Well, yes and no. So you don't have no right to demand things.
Yeah.
But of course you can get annoyed by slow progress. That's human nature, kind of. But...
is there an emotional contract there?
Yeah, that you create in your mind that has no basis in reality.
I know, but if you start a series, there's an expectation that you will finish the series.
Why? Like he can also come out and say the second to the last book was the last one. The last one was epilogue done.
Right.
But all the open threads, fine. It's like a movie with no ending. It's fine.
It's not fine though, is it?
Yeah, I love those movies.
No, that's a different thing. Like that's a choice.
Yeah.
Whereas if he just dies without finishing the book,
maybe he never intended to finish. Maybe he needed to write other things.
There's a thing, Paul Kearney,
who
was remote authors that I like. He has a series, The Mark of Ran.
Yeah, you talked about this.
Yeah, 2 books, and then the 3rd book never got released because publishers changed and they wouldn't release the license. And he was asked recently, and he said, "It's never going to be done.
Yeah,
I can't release it. It's not going to happen." And that's very upsetting. And that's not his choice.
Yeah, but that's a good response because then you actually know. And I imagine 10 years down the line, you moved on with your head space.
Yeah.
So you might, even if you tried, it probably wouldn't be the creation that he wanted from the get-go, right? It would be different in some way.
Yeah.
So I think it's, like...
They do owe us, I think.
No, I like explanations.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, there's a reason, this is why, maybe it will come. But like the CGP Grey podcasts, Hello Internet, I hate what happened there. I'm to the point where I don't want to watch his videos anymore.
Sure. I
still do because they're good, but I kind of don't want to.
Yeah.
And that's only because if they said, we're taking a break, see ya, we might be back, we might not.
Because there's no closure.
Yeah, that's fine. Then I know,
yeah,
as a fan, but it's just the last episode and then been 2 years soon. And I think that's unfair.
I think that's slightly different because that hasn't cost you anything.
I don't think money has anything to do with it.
I think it kind of does a little bit. Well, if I buy a first book in a series, and it is a series, like that's a given, that's how it's publicized or whatever, that's how it's advertised, there is an expectation that I'm buying this in the belief that it's going to be finished.
Well,
and I paid money.
I bought a Tesla with the belief that it will be a self-driving car, and it clearly wasn't.
That's a different thing. The car itself...
No, it needs 5 more updates or something before this.
Yeah, fine, but they haven't sold you the car and gone...
I kind of have.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But you can see my point.
Yeah.
But
I don't think the money thing changes the equation.
I think it does, though, because I paid money in the expectation.
Well, it didn't say book 1 out of 3 when you bought it. It says...
No, but like the Mark of Ran thing.
Yeah.
That's a trilogy. It was advertised as a trilogy.
Okay.
And even Ice and Fire, George R. R. Martin, that is a series that will have an ending. And you're told it's going to have an ending. But it doesn't
Will it, though?
But it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. Like I'm sure it will. And it's not just him. other authors as well, like Robert Jordan died before the end, and Brandon Sanderson came in and finished it.
Yep.
And that's because there was the expectation that it will be finished.
But this is also...
sorry.
It's not like, okay, 3-book thing, sure. But we're talking 10, 15 book, like, come on, series. Like how... like the Wheel of Time, what's that? 15?
I think it was 15.
Yeah.
But Wheel of Time, it's different to, say, detective novels, or like...
Okay, if Dresden author were to drop off the stool and die tomorrow, I wouldn't be sad because I didn't what?
He died over 10 years ago, and his wife finished the last trilogy he was working on.
What?
David Gemmell.
Not Gemmell, Dresden.
Oh, Dresden, sorry.
Yeah.
No, but Dresden's different, because that's almost a detective sort of series. There's no expectation that there will be a finale there.
Yeah.
It's like detective novels where
it's never ending.
Yeah, it's just a case, and sure, it's part of a series, but each book itself is self-contained.
Exactly, yeah. But at the same time, like I invested in the series, but yeah.
I just think it's different to a series where Ice and Fire, it's written.
There's a lot of books.
There's going to be an ending there.
There's a lot of books that are 3 books. Probably shouldn't have been 3 books.
No.
So maybe we should just skip the 3rd book every time.
You don't think in that situation that the author, because we paid money, and I know you don't want to put money into it, and that's fine, but you have paid money in the expectation that this is going to be a finished product at some stage.
Yeah, so I keep jumping into different things. Like it's the same discussion as the early access games. You buy an early access game, you expect the patches. Half of those games don't get patched to a finished product.
But again, I think that's different. That would be akin to buying a trilogy and then the author going, I'm going to do rewrites.
Yeah.
And it's different.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
If you bought a computer game that was meant to be like 3 chapters long, like 3 story elements, and you only got 2, and then the 3rd was meant to be released, but it wasn't released, even though you'd paid the money or whatever.
Yeah.
That's slightly different.
Yeah, I guess. It sounds more like self-publishing problems.
Yeah. And it's different with a book as well, because it's generally one person.
Yeah.
Whereas it's a gaming studio.
Yeah, but most of those indie games are 1 or 2 people.
I read the Neil Gaiman thing, and he basically said he doesn't owe you anything.
No.
And I was like, fair enough, Neil Gaiman, I respect what you said. But then I thought about it a bit more, and I was like, there's a difference between authors who, you get upset because they don't release a book every year.
Yeah.
That's a wholly different thing.
Yeah.
Like, you write whatever you want. But if there's a series that has a beginning and end, and I buy the first one, there's an expectation there that you're going to finish it. And if you don't finish it, then that's not great.
No, it's not great. But at the same time, like, it's a creative process. He maybe have no will or writing, I don't know, like mojo for that series.
Sure.
So he can't force that, right? Can you?
No, you can't.
I think a professional... Like Stephen King is crazy productive, even though...
Well, it's easy when you just write the same book again and again and again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But anyway, so he has a system, but a lot of people don't have that system, right?
Sure.
And they follow their whimsical whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can't demand a book when he maybe don't want to write that book or can't write that book at the moment. How can you demand something when he's like, no, I have ideas for this, but I don't have ideas for this. And especially Game of Thrones, which has so many subplots. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't think... Yeah, if you draw all of them on strings and shit, you're going to have problems, man. There's going to be a lot of string.
Yeah, true.
So...
I don't know. It's just something... Yeah.
I agree. We're not owed anything.
I think in specific cases there's an expectation there. Yeah. I don't think we're owed a book like every year. But there's a sort of social sort of contract there whereby, again, I keep going back to it. If it's a series that has a beginning and a definitive end, and we've bought the first book, it's in expectation that it's going to be finished.
Also, lately, even it's way more common with any person that writes a book and gets a contract, they are contracted for 3 books.
Yeah.
So that also creates expectation. Whereas before it was, oh, here's a book. Oh, it's sold. Okay, make another one. Oh, that's sold too. Make another one. And the series became whatever that became. But yeah, they were not also dropping on cliffhangers as much.
Yeah, true.
I guess. True. Or not cliffhangers, but yeah, here's the war. What happens after the war? Here's the kingdom. So,
I don't know. I don't know anything. Except, fucking hell, we don't know anything, do we?
No.
Like, definitively. I don't know anything. Do you know anything definitively?
I like chocolate. Definitively? I can't even say the word.
But you don't like all chocolate?
Pretty much.
Yeah?
Yeah. Unless you throw some weird raisin salty things in
there
it.
There you go, see?
But that's polluting your chocolate base. Yeah. I can throw away that.
I don't know anything definitively. Yeah.
Nothing?
I don't think so. Because, like, when you're younger, my favorite color is... I couldn't tell you what my favorite color is. I like a lot of colors. I don't think so, no. My lucky number is... Is it... Like, I question lucky numbers now. Like, for all the time, my lucky number's been 13. But now I'm like, fucking lucky number. That's a bullshit thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just because I'm perverse, because it's historically an unlucky number.
Yeah, of course. But that's also why it's more common than you think.
I know it is. Yeah.
So if you look at lottery tickets and stuff, it's a lot. I don't know, man. Like, there's very few things people know.
Yeah.
So.
And then nothing makes sense, because, when you get down to the quantum level, what's that bloody thing where, is it neutrons change when you look at them?
My question is, what the fuck has that to do with fantasy?
I don't know. It's late in the day.
Yeah, it's
alright. Things. What have I been reading, Leif? I hear you ask me like you never asked me.
But you only speed read. That doesn't count.
You're so selfish, man. Because I always ask you what you've read, and you never reciprocate. I always have to do this bloody thing where I go, "Oh, what's that you say, Leif? What have I read?"
That's because I don't get a single thought through this constant noise that's coming from your face. So what have you been reading, Ronan?
It's a little bit hurtful. I'll tell you what I've been reading. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Nice.
I don't like tea or coffee. But you know what? I like to be asked. People are going to go make a tea or coffee. I like to be asked.
Of course.
I'm always going to say no.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be asked.
Yeah, I agree.
I have this thing with my partner. I generally have like 1 cup of tea a year.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And it's a thing with us.
Yeah.
She'll be a cup of tea. She never makes me breakfast. I feel like
this took a turn.
Yeah, right? The amount of times I wake up, because I usually sleep a little bit later, and I walk through out of the bedroom, and I'll smell breakfast.
Yeah.
And there'll just be like a plate, something. I'll be like, oh, you're sleeping. I was like, I would have woken up some eggs. I hope she doesn't listen to this one.
Well, the question is, did you deserve breakfast?
You deserve breakfast.
I don't know.
What the fuck is this? Yeah. I could have earned breakfast.
Or did you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty sure I bought the eggs and bacon, but that's fine. Yeah.
I told you about my coffee service.
No, which coffee service?
Every morning, there's a thermos with 2 cups of coffee by my computer, waiting for me every morning. Since
who does it? Like Pixies?
Yeah, it sounds like might be my wife, but I think she sold the service to the Pixies.
Wait, she makes you 2 cups of coffee every morning.
Yeah.
What?
Without fault, basically.
Why 2?
It's 1.5, 2. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice system. I love it.
Do you like coffee?
Yeah.
All right.
So it's a good start to the morning.
Yeah.
But you should set up that kind of system with the scrambled eggs thing.
I just thought it might be funny if you didn't like coffee. You'd never like coffee.
It's like I just hide it and pour it in the plant.
Yeah, but you just don't know how to say anything about it.
Yeah.
No, I never get breakfast. But she loves, like, I'm not a big breakfast eater. It's fine. Like, it's not a big thing, mate. It's just nice to be asked, Anyway, what have I been reading? Thanks for asking.
Oh, yeah.
As I said I would, I went and read the Deeds, or the Deed of Paksenarrion, which is the trilogy consisting of Sheep Farmer's Daughter, Divided Allegiance, and Oath of Gold. Divided Allegiance. Allegiance is one of those words that looks like it should sound differently.
It has a lot of those.
Allegiance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't look right.
Probably
Allegiance.
Is it? Could it be French? That's why. No.
Probably.
Yeah.
Bloody French getting in there with their words.
Some of their letter scrambling is weird.
It is weird. Anyway, Divided Allegiance, Oath of Gold, by Elizabeth Moon.
Yep. Who we love.
We do love, mate.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
Don't ruin it. When was the
last time you read them? Because
20 years ago.
I'd say it's a good 15 or so years for me.
But the Paladin series I read more recently, maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
And I love those.
Okay. I always thought I really loved this book. And, the trilogy. It's good.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was like? It was David Eddings, right?
Yep.
When I was first starting off reading books, David Eddings is one of those that I started with.
Yeah,
a lot of people did.
Yeah.
You know, but that's very, like, if you go back and read that now, the borderline children's books.
Yeah.
Not that bad. Like, you could read one in a couple of hours. Yeah. And it's quite basic.
Yeah, it's not a deep subplot.
Right, yeah, but it's good. Yeah. Like, it's good. I kind of got this with this. Not to the same level.
Okay.
But maybe this is like Ronan in the 20s would have enjoyed this. But it's quite basic. It's written really well.
Yeah.
But it is not as good as I remember. And it really feels like I've grown up and this book hasn't.
Yeah. Is it because you're just phased from having read a lot, growing older? Like action movies, it's harder for me to be enjoyed as much because I like car chases. I hate car chases because it's just pointless. It's
what?
Yeah,
you like car chases, but you hate car chases.
No, I dislike car chases.
Right. Okay.
I basically skip over them. I'm never entertained by them.
Okay.
Whereas younger me would have gone, awesome! Like Terminator, the stuff, Terminator 2, that was awesome. But
just to jump on that point, I found recently, I've been skipping like romantic, like sex scenes and stuff.
Same. It's like I know what you're doing now. So next, I want to see.
Right? Yeah. Shit. Yeah. I only recently. Yeah. I've been going.
Because
just get to it. I don't care.
No, and it's.
I've seen boobs.
Yeah, and it's like you get the build up.
Yeah.
And then it's too drawn out. Kinda sometimes, not always, but in some places. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's like 5-minute expose. I'm like, yeah, okay, I know this.
Are we dead inside when we've seen
old and bitter? This is where it starts.
Bored by boobs. Anyway, the book.
Yeah, book.
It follows Paksenarrion, who starts out as she's a sheep farmer's daughter. She runs away to join a mercenary company. Felon's company. She goes on many adventures. It all happens too quick for my money. It's like over 3 years.
Yeah.
And that was grabs me.
But the company is well done, and
it's all well done, mate. Yeah. It's a good book. It's well written. But I kept thinking about it, and she's a consummate warrior by the end of it, or whatever. She becomes a paladin.
I think you learn quick or die. Isn't that the case?
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking about it. There's some that do it really well. Like, what's his name? The one we like, Ryan.
Yeah, Anthony Ryan.
Yeah, Anthony Ryan does it really well. Where, like, they start them off as kids, and they go through fighting and teenagers and stuff. That's how long it takes them.
Yeah.
Whereas then you get books, like, where it's like...
so it's not grim darky enough for you?
No, it's just... a couple of months training.
Yeah.
Then, fuck it, they're thrown into a battle.
Yeah.
Whatever. And maybe it could be like that.
Yeah, I think it could be.
Yeah, but like, it doesn't really ring true. Like, how are you an amazing sword fighter after... Like, if it takes you 10,000 hours to be a professional at anything. Yeah, like, that's what they say.
Yeah, but it's kind of bullshit.
I'm sure it is. But
you have a innate ability to. So those things together, I would say.
Sure. Yeah. But 10,000 to do the Olympics, to win a gold medal, sort of thing. 10,000 hours.
Way too little.
But that's what they say. 10,000 hours.
Yeah, I think it's been kind of debunked. But yeah, it's a good starting point. If you can do it for this, then keep doing it. Yeah.
Paksenarrion did have fucking 10,000 hours. And sure, she has the gods coming in.
Yeah.
And whatever. We fucking suck at reviewing books, don't we?
maybe.
Like, just suck it. Like, here's me. I'm trying to tell. Like, it's like we're talking to people who have read this book.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't review per se. Like,
No.
There's a slight. This is what it's about, and then we talk opinions more.
Yeah, right.
That's always been the case.
Oh, okay. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Paksenarrion, she joins a mercenary company. Lots of trials and tribulations. She's very good about it. There's not a god. Well, there's the High Lord, which is a god, and then there's lots of people who have ascended.
Yeah.
So Gerd is one who was a farmer himself, and he led a rebellion against mages years and years ago, and so he ascended, and you can pray to him, and you have the fellowship of Gerd and stuff, and Granges, and I love all that. Paksenarrion feels the presence of Gerd, but doesn't feel the calling to join Gerd's flock, if you will. There's also Falk, which is another one. Who's another person who ascended, and there's different ones like that, which I love the world building. It's great.
You're not selling them well. They are good though.
They are good. But anyway, she does all this. She goes through trials. She goes to train to be a knight of Gerd, but it doesn't really work out. Darkness gets into her soul, and she gets PTSD, which is done really well. People think she's a coward. She fights back. It's all very good, and finally she becomes a paladin of all of the gods. Which she shouldn't be able to do, but she does. I love the character of Paksenarrion. I really do. I think it's very hard to do something, have a protagonist who is holier than thou. And make them interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
And Paksenarrion, for all intents and purposes, is holier than thou. Like, she doubts herself and whatever, but she doubts herself in the sort of way that you're looking at her going, oh, come on, mate, like, you're just fucking brilliant. You know, but she's a very good character. She's nuanced, she doubts herself, and she's a woman, which is nice. And this was before this whole fucking modern trend of, female empowerment and everything.
Fantasy has always been pretty...
It has.
Yeah.
Male and female fighters. It's done very well. There's elves, there's dwarves, there's gnomes, but they're kind of secondary. They don't get a whole lot of play. The magic system's very good, but it's a little bit Dungeons and Dragons, where you have paladins and all of that. They're good books. It just feels like fantasy's moved on from what this was.
Yeah, but you don't like the new fantasy.
But I like... so these books were released late 80s, like 89, 90. And it was a different world, fantasy-wise.
The whole planet was different. Like, everything was different.
Not everything.
We didn't have the internet movement. We didn't have... I think we, as a species, has changed way faster and more lately than we did before. Yeah, absolutely. Generally for the good, but with some, like, 2 steps forward, 1 step back constantly.
Right? Caveats, anyway, good book. Would I recommend it to you? I absolutely would. Would I recommend it to everybody else? I would, because it's very well written. And she writes beautifully. If you haven't read them,
you should. And it's a lot of... And the second series is good too.
So the second series, you have the Legacy of Gerd, which I'm going through now, because I'm finding a bit of struggle. And then you have the Paladin's Legacy, which is what you were talking about. I think I'm reading the Paladin's Legacy, actually. That's the one...
With the prince.
Yeah, it is Paladin's Legacy I'm reading. That's the one that she's still kind of writing.
Yeah.
Like, the last one was 2015 or something.
Exactly,
but, yeah, they're all very good.
Look, this is how I know it's good.
How do you know? Because I just said?
No, there's one book with the prince and her just riding around doing things, and they're just basically riding around the whole book, and I enjoyed it.
That's it,
nothing big happened. It's a middle book, it's but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it just flew away like the Nightbringer series, like the same pace of reading.
Nightbringer?
No, what's it called? Brent Weeks. What's that called? The Night Angel.
Night Angel.
Yeah.
Is that a song? Night Angel. Night Angel.
Sounds like something hard rock. I don't know, but when you get in, when a book grabs you and you just flow through it, it's nice. It's a nice feeling.
Absolutely.
So.
You were talking about speed reading and all that. I don't do it with Elizabeth, and I'm glad I went back because I thought maybe I would.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's
good.
Beautifully written, really good books, but fantasy has moved on.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, it really has. From this, it's a little bit basic.
Yeah. Sometimes that's nice though.
It is nice. A little palate cleanser. Anyway, that's what I read. I haven't really read anything else.
Okay.
That's it.
Only?
I know.
That doesn't sound like you.
I know. I don't know what happened. I got into TV, weirdly. I've just been watching TV.
Anything good?
No. Snowpiercer is very good. I'm enjoying that.
I like the movies.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming I like dystopian things, so I will probably like this.
It's very good. Maybe we've discussed it before. Apart from the main protagonist.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. It's the only character I don't like.
How do they drag it out to a TV show?
Well, they just do the train.
Yeah, but it's just this. So what's an episode like? Is it this cart or that cart?
No, they did, like, basically in the film, they had the tailies who overran the train and then found out who the main controller was and killed him and crashed the train.
Yeah.
In this, the revolution happens.
Okay.
But the train keeps going.
Okay.
And it's dealing with that. And then there's another train.
Yeah.
And it's very good. It's very good.
Okay.
I've got 2 more episodes to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really haven't read much. Sorry about that. You read anything else?
Yeah, lots. It's nothing good though.
Oh, good.
Yeah. One question though.
Yeah, go.
Is it good to be the king?
Is it good to be the king?
Yeah. Would you be a good king?
Would I be a good king?
What is a good king?
Would I be a good king?
So let's say you became king of Sweden.
I'd be a megalomaniac, mate.
I think so too.
Yeah. It wouldn't even take me a day.
Uppsala is gonna be pink. Everything is pink. Why? Because I decreed it.
Yeah, I'd micromanage. I'd micromanage in the wrong way. Megalomania. Is it good to be the king? In fantasy, on evidence, no.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's written up to be a thing. There's no upside. Where's the upside?
Sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, go.
Sorry, you just kept saying there's no upside. But
there's only penalties. Like, people are trying to kill you. People are trying to poison you. You have power until your best mates try to take that power.
Yeah.
Or your bastard child is trying to kill you. So, yeah.
Here's the thing in fantasy with kings. Generally, there's an interesting thing where in The West Wing, Aaron Sorkin, best TV show ever made, initially, Martin Sheen wasn't going to be a character.
Okay.
Because he felt the president isn't an interesting story.
Okay.
It's the machinations around the president.
Yeah.
And it's very similar in fantasy, whereby generally it's not the king we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's somebody trying to become king. Yeah. It's somebody who's been deposed. It's a prince or something like that. That's generally the way it is. Don't you think?
Yeah, you get a good point.
The king generally isn't a good story.
Yeah, okay. But then why do we have kings if nobody wants to be a king?
Well, they do, but the journey to be a king is more interesting than being a king.
I guess.
Like, it's a...
And then you're born into it.
Yeah.
And then...
It's a better story telling a story about how somebody climbed Everest than telling a story about somebody who's on top of Everest.
Yeah.
Although I haven't said that out loud. Story about... Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. And I find parallels in real life where all the things, like even in today's society, we have kings in a couple of countries, right?
We do.
And they are
queens.
Yeah, true.
Our queens.
There's a couple, 2. Margaret and Elizabeth. And is there more? That's main regions.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, like so in Sweden, this whole idea started with me thinking about the Oprah interview with Harry and Meghan escaping and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then in Sweden, we had 4 princes that got resigned from the throne, basically, or the succession.
What did you think about the whole Meghan Markle thing?
I think that's bullshit. I think this is... How do you manage a public persona with royalty with a private company? That's the problem.
What did you think about Piers Morgan having to resign?
What did he do?
So he basically came out and said, I can't remember the exact thing. I think he called her a coward and a attention-seeking whatever. Yeah.
So that's where the fine lines come in.
Did you feel sympathy for Meghan Markle?
Nah, not really.
No, I didn't.
But I don't think they would have been kicked out that way unless the News of the World.
Out.
No, but the News of the World thing 10 years before created the you're not allowed to do your own thing, right? And then the freedoms of being in there got shut down a little bit. So and then they wanted to do that. They want to have company. They want to do things, but then the Queen go no, and that's.
Is it good to be the king? What do you think?
I don't think so. For instance, in Sweden, we had 4 princes that left succession because they, in the 30s and 40s, they were forced to marry princesses, and they were shunned from society in general and everything for 20 years.
Were any of them a king?
They were in the line to be kings,
but they weren't king.
No, they were princes.
Right.
Yeah, but if they marry a princess, they're in the line to become king.
Right, but my point is, your question was, is it good to be the king?
Definitely not.
Is it good to be a prince? I don't know why you're telling me stories about princes when you asked me a question about a king.
Okay. So, we have the Spanish king.
Right.
Who got deposed for trying to get money from the Saudis.
Yeah. Right.
Isn't that what a king is supposed to do?
Get money from the Saudis?
Yeah. You won't give me money? I need more money for my treasury. Let's go.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Like they wanted to build speed trains. He's like, yeah, give me some money. I'll make that happen.
I don't know, mate. You're talking real world.
Yeah. Or the Belgian king. He couldn't even fuck women alone. Like every week now, there's a freaking DNA test that brings out a new chill. It's like, oh, here's another daughter that's in succession. Yeah. Oh, god damn it.
I haven't really thought about it too much. I think,
like, what's the point of having a king when there's DNA tests and tax attorneys and internet working against you?
In today's society, it's a wholly pointless thing.
Yeah.
The whole idea of royalty is anathema to me. Like, I don't understand it.
But I see awesome parallels between the DNA testing of a Belgian king and finding bastards being the main driving story in so many fantasy stories.
Yeah, bastards. Fitzes.
Yeah,
exactly. I didn't realize for a long time Fitz just means bastard.
Ah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, I remember reading it in Robin Hobb's books.
Okay.
She had like Fitz chivalry and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and Fitz. And then in real life, that's where Fitz came from.
Okay.
So it was like bastard.
Yeah.
So
what's the Norwegian one for...
Is it Fitz?
No, it's not bastard. It's due to with the Second World War. It's because of one politician that was on the Nazi side.
Oh, that wasn't Swedish. He wasn't Swedish though. He was Norwegian.
Yeah, Norwegian. That's what I said.
Ah, God, what was that? Sigmund or something?
Yeah, no, but it created a word because of his name, basically.
Who was that?
We should know this.
No. Let's pretend that we...
Quisling.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, like, Quisling. Oh, is that...
Imagine being the... It's like, I was just trying to...
Here's the thing. Do you want to be remembered?
No.
No? Really?
Nah.
I've been thinking about it a lot. About...
legacy?
Yeah, just...
You don't even want kids. How is that going to be a legacy?
But...
Who's going to drive it?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about my life just being pointless if you don't do something with it.
True for everybody.
Yeah, but if you don't do something with it, if you don't make even just if you write a shit book, at least you've made some sort of stamp. No. And you don't know if in like 50 years somebody will discover that book.
In 5 years, it's in a recycle bin. Nobody...
You know what I mean? People who put their stamp in the world.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Remember, like...
But even them get misremembered 5 years later, and
Sure.
so I think the whole leaving your legacy is flawed because it's driven by the person living and his ego kind of thing, and it has no real effect on humanity after he dies. For a few exceptions, though, like if you are Napoleon, maybe you created a name for yourself and that will be used. But most people, all people, basically, it's like you're a blip and then another blip and another blip.
Most of the monarchies in Europe descend from Bonaparte.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
good for him. It's a shame he didn't get on the clocks.
Yeah,
because we got the decimal system, or not decimal system, metric system.
So how are you gonna become a Napoleon?
No, I was but I was just thinking that Quisling guy. It's a shit thing to be remembered for, but also he's remembered.
Yeah. So what's its worth?
Yeah.
Is it worth anything?
I don't know. Any fantasy kings that spring to mind when you're talking about this? When you're thinking about this? In particular?
No, like in general, like, but I think you made a good point with the kings are actually not that interesting. They're schemed around, or they're poisoned around, or whatever. Like, it's once you're there, the series over.
A lot of books, not a lot.
So it's not good to be the king.
No, a lot of books start with the king is dead.
Yeah,
I think that's famous. Like bloody The Lion King.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The king's death.
Or you create your own kingdom or whatever.
Yeah. So is it good to be the king? Yeah, but
why though?
I'm not in fantasy world. Like, what do you get? Gout?
Yeah, like you build your thing, and then your kids ruin it, and then a dragon comes and eats your kid. Like, I don't know.
Dragons are a weird thing, aren't they?
Yeah, they're too powerful and not powerful enough at the same time.
Like, you can't really use dragons.
No.
You don't get dragons so much, or if you do, they're heard of, but you never really see them.
Yeah. So they're either extinct or all powerful.
I can never remember. Wyverns are the ones with 2 legs. Dragons have 4. Is that right?
Yeah,
and
they're
a
smaller.
wyvern has no legs.
I don't know if the leg thing is 100%. I think I've seen all kind of variations. Yeah. But I think smaller, basically.
Is
and
that
then
what it is?
The last one is more reptilian, not actually intelligent, and stuff like that.
I thought dragons had 4 legs.
Yeah.
Wyvern has 2, and a wyrm has none.
There is factions, so there's Western dragons, there's Eastern dragons, there's styles.
I might have to look that up, buddy.
Yeah.
I think that is the thing.
It's also with the wing breadth, and if there's claws on the wings, and the shape of can they actually move and lift their body weight and stuff like that. So
wyvern only has 2 legs.
Okay.
Yeah. Dragons have 4. Yeah.
Chicken has
2?
Maybe.
Yeah. I like it when I'm right about stuff. And a wyrm has none.
I don't know, man.
A wyrm. I don't know. A wyrm away. I don't know, buddy. I feel like we haven't really talked about a lot, have we?
No.
Has this been the worst podcast we've done?
Isn't it always? Isn't that the whole point?
Yeah, arrest the bottom. Yeah.
So if somebody would give you a crown, would you take it?
A crown?
Yeah, here's a crown, and you get that country. Belgium. I don't know.
Belgium. Would you take Belgium?
Inherit Leopold II.
Of course you would, mate. Of course you would.
But we just said it was a bad thing.
Not necessarily. Like, that's, you said, in fantasy, it's generally not the best thing in the world. In general,
I love the King of Bhutan.
The King of Bhutan?
Yeah. I love him.
Why? Because of his
his what?
I couldn't remember the right R word. His repressive regime.
Slightly.
His adherence to Sharia law.
No, you're thinking about the wrong country.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
His oppressed people.
No, you
don't see a lot of the money.
You do not think. I think you're talking about the country next to Nepal.
Bhutan. I'm talking about Brunei.
Yeah.
Sultan of Brunei. That's what I'm thinking of.
Sultan of Brunei is a good friend of the Swedish king.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah.
Sultan of Brunei.
They used to go on
Piece of shit.
party boats and stuff.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. There's a king of Bhutan.
Yeah, they used to be. So he
Right.
resigned because he thought.
Right.
Yeah, he
yes.
thought his citizens needed democracy.
Yeah.
So he had an election. He talked on radio, and then his son, one of them, was going to go on one of the parties, and he basically said, "No. Just because it's my son, vote for the guy you like the most. Not because it's my son, and we're going to build a democratic nation."
That's right.
And that's it. I love that.
I like what Bhutan's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they
Also handle Corona like best in the world.
Okay, that's because they don't get any visitors.
Yeah, they had like almost no cases, and
No, I like what Bhutan's about. There was he's not a king, but the Duke of Luxembourg or whatever they have.
Okay, yeah.
There was a time when they tried to depose him.
Yeah.
But he held all the money in the country. So he said, yeah, fine, that's fine, but I'm taking all my money.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that would leave us completely bankrupt.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You stay. So yeah. Yeah, Bhutan's a good place.
And they measure happiness index instead of GDP.
You know you get rhinos in Bhutan.
Oh, no idea.
Is it rhinos?
So, you do, and then maybe?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was dragons. I think it's dragons.
They have one on their flag, right? That's Bhutan.
A dragon?
Yeah. Pretty sure it is. Bhutan's the flag with the triangles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dragon.
I don't know.
I think so.
Flag.
Yeah.
Vexology is not my thing.
That's nice. I find you a little bit vexology.
Vexing, yeah.
Doesn't work. Yeah, Bhutan's great.
Yeah.
I like what they like their conservation and just like, I don't know though, because they only just got the internet. But apparently they're a very happy country.
Yeah, that's why they value those things.
There's a thing though.
Like an effort.
It's that sort of why did art get better? And it's because we didn't know any better. So it's like you look at happy countries like Bhutan, and they're like, oh, they're super happy, and it's like they don't know any better.
I don't know. They have other problems.
And then you get things like the happiness index is bullshit, because countries like Norway, happiest country in the world, huge suicide rate. Same with Finland.
Yeah, that's because it's freaking dark and snowy all the time.
Or all the people who are sad kill themselves. So it skews that's a terrible thing.
This is the same thing with Japan though, and it seems like one of the coolest places to live, but they have a huge suicide rate.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, suicide sucks. It's highest amongst our age group and our gender.
What?
Suicide.
Yeah. So the numbers are higher.
Yeah,
I can see that.
More risk. It's because we don't cry.
Yeah, that's kind of true too.
It's been linked to that. It's because, I
have a solution.
Okay. What?
Read romance fantasy, and we will cry.
Freaking angry. Horrendous. Do you know my favorite books is How to Date a Shopaholic.
Huh?
Yeah, based on film. It's a good book. Like,
okay,
it is. It's one of those weird ones where you read because you're at somebody else's house and you got nothing else to read.
Yeah.
So you pick it up and you get into it and you're like, God, this is a good book. And then they made it into film. I may have talked about it before.
It's probably. Did I read Eat, Pray, Love? I think I did. It's kind of the same thing. Same scenario, whereas like, okay, there's a shelf of weird books I don't want to read. Okay, I'm trying this.
Do you know what I did? My partners recently joined a reading group.
Yeah.
And the first book they were asked to read is a book called Queenie.
Okay.
And I read the blurb and I was like, oh my God, this is horrendous. It's probably a good book, but when you just get an impression, especially because it's called Queenie.
Yeah. Well,
so...
Yeah, sure.
But sorry, we were in bed, and I think this is one of the reasons why Paksenarrion kind of changed in my mind. Because we were in bed, and I was reading out some of Queenie, but I was doing it in a ridiculous voice. I'm making fun of it in the way I was speaking. So I don't even know if it was a good book, but I was just like... reading it to make it sound stupid.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then I went on to Paksenarrion because that's what I was reading. But I kept reading it in the stupid book. And I was like, this book sounds stupid as well.
So you made it bad. Yeah. It wasn't
also,
bad.
I don't know how you do audiobooks in fantasy. Because a lot of the time, hearing fantasy out loud, it sounds stupid. Yeah.
Yep. My wife, when I have it on speaker and not on my earphones, she goes nuts.
Yeah.
She's like, can you stop that? It's so annoying. And Dragon this and Demon that and whatever, you know. What? What do you mean?
Anyway. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Should we call it a day?
And don't do silly voices. It ruins books for you.
I can't make
it. It's a warning.
Yeah, I'm a showman. I can't help it, buddy. I can't help it. I'm a showman. Should we call it?
Yeah.
It's a good podcast. It's one of the best.
Nah.
Worst?
Maybe.
I know you say it's the worst every time. I think that may have been the worst podcast we've done.
I don't think so. Lists, we're not good with lists.
We're not good with lists, but I think there's a certain charm to how bad we are at lists.
Why would you listen to charmy bad lists?
I read... There was this list the other day. I should have saved it. It was ridiculous. It was it was one of those stupid ones. 5 books to get you into fantasy.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, oh god, here we go.
Yeah.
So I clicked on it, and the first book is Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, solid choice.
Yeah, maybe not the first recommendation.
Maybe not. Yeah. It's a bit heavy, but solid choice.
Sure.
And obviously that's in there because the TV show and it's huge. Whatever. And I was like, solid choice. Can't argue. The next 4 books, I didn't know any of them.
So you don't know fantasy? Have you started reading fantasy yet?
I didn't know the other ones. Yeah. One of the written explanation or written forwards about the book was not really a typical fantasy, sci-fi elements, but a good book nonetheless. And I was like, what the fuck is this? An introduction to fantasy? Then you dipshit. But
it was the list I wrote.
Yeah, but. I should have got them all so we could have done a wee review. So next week, our next podcast, we'll do Sword of Truth, first episode.
Yeah. Yep.
And let's really get into it, you know?
Okay.
Not like The Watch.
We can maybe watch more than one episode then?
Yeah, we'll see how we get on.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry with The Watch. Like, I wanted to talk about it more, but I just fucking hated it.
I hated it so much that I need to not read the books for a while.
Yeah.
And that's sad because I was thinking about maybe going back to them.
Absolutely.
And now it's like, no, I can wait.
The Terry Pratchett's daughter, obviously, Rhiannon, I think it's Rhiannon, came out and she said basically, if you're watching this, it holds no relation to my father's books at all. I think she tried to give input and they wanted nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think it even says takes inspiration from Terry Pratchett. So it's not like it's even based upon. It's horseshit. Sam Vimes. It really upset me. And his missus in it. Yeah. How can you ruin something like that? Or how can you do something like The Watch and think that you can do better?
Yeah.
You know, you take The Watch and you take these rich, nuanced characters and then you go, nah. Do you know what? Nah. I think this is better.
Yeah. Why not?
Fuck yourself. And on that note, Leif, where can they find us?
On the 100%.
Instawebs.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. Lads, you can find us on, if you want to shoot us an email, tangentialdiatribe@gmail.com. That's tangential without the I. It's a legitimate way of spelling it. If you want to chuck us a buck, we're on Patreon, Tangential Diatribe there as well. You can check out the website, Tangential Diatribe as well. It's basically Tangential Diatribe everywhere. Okay. Facebook, Twitter. Yeah. We'll probably might start up a Reddit at some stage.
Maybe.
I don't really know how that works, so we probably won't.
No.
Yeah, shoot us an email. Let us know if you want any books reviewed or lists done. We love doing lists.
We're horrible at it.
Yeah, we are, mate. We are. Thanks for listening. I've been Ronan V.
And I'm Leif. Have a nice one.
Leif Jor.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, alright. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Nice. Done it. Good.